Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again. I'll be talking today about rental properties. While they can be extremely lucrative, it's a lot more complex since you're dealing with real estate and there's a lot of factors that go into whether your investment can make you money or if your investment is costing you money. You know what they say, if your math sucks, then so does your investment. So understanding the math behind it, how to properly assess a property value and what you can make is crucial to understanding the value of the investment. If you're not crunching the numbers properly and factoring in all of the costs, the maintenance and potential costs that you will have with a rental property, then you are setting yourself up for some big surprises and some big losses, potentially. Did I say that? So it's essential that you understand the ins and outs of the capitalization rate or the cap rate in order to properly assess the profitability of a property. So what is a cap rate? A cap rate is a calculation to determine the profitability of a real estate investment. It is the net operating income in relation to the property asset value. So we use the cap rate calculation to determine the return of an investment. So to calculate the cap rate, you simply divide the net operating income, the NOI, by the property asset value. For the most accurate estimation, you want to make sure that the NOI includes all of the potential costs that would be related to owning that property. The more comprehensive you get with that calculation, the more accurate your cap rate will be. Here's an example. If we have $12,000 of rental income, and then we have to get all of our expenses. So $1,200 for property management fee, $600 maintenance fee, $2,000 taxes, $750 of homeowners insurance, and this is all yearly expenses and yearly income. So for example, if you have the expense of a homeowners association or a trash expense or whatever other expenses, if you're including the water and the electric or other utilities, you want to include that as well. Okay, so now we have our net income, which is $7,450, and we're going to divide that by the purchase price, which is $140,000, and that gives us a 5.3% cap rate. It is best also to factor in some vacancies because you're not always going to have a tenant 100% of the time. Your tenant might leave and it might take you a few months to get a new tenant, especially if you're going to need to touch up the walls, etc., put it on the market. A way that you can do that is factor in, for example, a 10% vacancy. So instead of $1,000 a month, use in your calculation $900 a month for your rent. And that will give you a good buffer and give you a more accurate cap rate in the event that you don't have a tenant for a month for whatever reason. So the cap rate is used to determine the return on investment for real estate investors, and also to compare to investments before you deploy your capital. This, of course, allows you to make the best decision for your money and also to understand if a property has some expenses or some conditions that aren't suitable for that type of investment. It also can make you very aware if a certain property has expenses that aren't in line with the market. and it will allow you to analyze how possibly you can make changes in order to make it more profitable, or the investment that you're going to have to make up front in order to make it more profitable, and include that in your calculation. So as I touched on before, for an investor that has several options to choose from that on the surface may seem very different because of the cost of each, and for example, if you have a duplex versus a rental property with 8 units, the cap rate allows you to compare these different properties apples to apples and allow you to make the best decision for your capital. While a cap rate won't tell you everything that you need to know, it is a good indicator of the return that you can plan to receive from that investment. Cap rates are highly location dependent. So for example, a cap rate in Miami may not give you the same cap rate that you will get in Tucson or Houston or Boise, Idaho, for example. So if you ask what a good cap rate looks like, that is largely dependent on the market and the goals that you have as an investor. As a good rule of thumb, we can say that generally a 10% or more cap rate is favorable. In your area, investors might expect 12%, and in my area, they would be happy with a 7 or 8% cap rate. It is largely dependent on the market and what goals you have as an investor and what kind of return you would expect from your property portfolio. One reason why an investor might accept something with a lower cap rate is because they would invest a little bit more in a less risky area. For example, if you purchase a home that might be more expensive, but there's lots of demands from families because of the school district that it's in, or because of the proximity to the business center of your town, or because that area is experiencing a greater appreciation over the years on the properties, then an investor might consider a lower cap rate on that property. So there you have it. That was my introduction to cap rates. This is a subject that I'm very into, so I hope to do another video in the future. Catch me on the next one. In the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe.